Well, we got a couple of boxes in the mail that I believe are axe heads. Or at least one of them is. So let's see what we got. Yeah, I'm always kind of keeping my eye out for anything interesting turns up. If I can get a good deal on it. Well, I certainly got it wrapped. Well, so just did a little cleaning on them. Usually what I'm buying is rusty stuff. But I think a lot of times people put a little effort into them, thinking they'll get a better price. Well, Collins, old Collins, but actually in very nice shape. It's got a nice nail assembly up there. Yeah, I like the shape of it. That's got to be like 4 pounds. But I like that it's got these cheeks back here. Yeah, she's actually in very good shape. You can barely make it out, but it says the Collins. Yeah, I can't read the rest of it. But I'm going to glass bead this anyway. I really wouldn't hardly have to though. But there's one thing that I've noticed with the glass beater. It'll tell me things about them, about the metal. This again is a Collins. But this is the one I was really interested in. Because I believe it's a 5 pounder. I'll have to wait to make sure, but it says 5 on it, and I think that means a 5 pounder. But you'll notice it's got a very high pawl on it. And it's beveled on the edges. And it isn't all really mushed up, you know, like a lot of times that they are. Though you can see it's been used for beating. But I'm sure what I've got here is a rafting axe that has a hardened pawl on it because it's made for driving in the big staples with chains on for hooking log rafts together, you know, that sort of thing. And for driving wedges, you know, the steel wedges. But they bevel them corners so that they don't chip off. So if you see one, you know, with a high and not all beat up, it's a good chance that's what it is. But they're usually very heavy. But what I say, you know, like when I run them in the glass beater now, I can tell exactly where the hardness is on them because it sparks differently. You know, the glass beads will put off a little spark. In the softer metal, it's a different color than it is in the hardened area. And after it comes out of the beater, it will show up frosty kind of on this and polished on the hardened stuff. So I can tell exactly, you know, when you take them out of that, it tells me exactly what kind of shape they're in. But when you see one like this that isn't all beat up here and stuff, I think this whole thing is hard. You know, I don't think any of it's soft. But yeah, that's interesting. I have to weigh that though. But I was going to show you, okay, this is the Husqvarna splitting maul. The big one is actually got a hardened top on it too. This, you can actually drive this with a sledgehammer. But you'll notice that, and that's only on the big one. The other ones aren't that way, but this one, you can impact it. Well, this has got that same, where it's beveled on the edges so you don't chip pieces out. I've never actually used that, but you could use it for even driving wedges, you know, when you're splitting wood. But that's what that's designed for. And I think this is the same way. This would actually be a fairly good axe for splitting wood. You know, she's got quite a flair to her. And she's got the heft. But when you compare it to regular 3.5 pound, you know, there's a lot more axe. But most of that lot more axe is up in the top. But that's what this one makes me a little curious, because this one has a little more up here than I would expect. Just a little. Only like a 1/4 inch more, but and there's a slight difference in shading right there too. So this one could be hardened up here too, but it might only be that very top part. Whereas this one, I got the feeling this is high carbon all the way through. But I'll glass beat them, and that'll tell me. But it's always interesting. This might be a really nice axe though. I just like it. It's got nice lines to her. But for certain instances, when you really want the heft, this is the one. I prefer actually a lighter axe, but for some things you really do want that extra weight. And the fact, you know, I won't be driving steel wedges with it, but for driving, I do a lot where I'm driving wooden pins in things. You know, the big 1-inch hardwood pins. Well, this might work good for that too. But, well, first I better get the drill out and get rid of this, because that is the easiest way to take these out. Well, I'll pull the nails out first, then I'll drill a bunch of holes in her, and I think she'll just come right back out. Because she must have been fairly loose in there that they had to put all them nails in. Yeah, there's no steel wedge, wooden wedge, and then a pile of nails. That gives me a project I do on a cold day.